topic I want to talk about today is how I decided to have children. I feel, to me in particular, it was kind of a hard decision, and I deliberated a lot, and I had a lot of panic attacks. I had a lot of stress trying to figure out whether or not I wanted to have children. And I made like a bullet point list to kind of, because I thought about it, well, like, what do I want to mention in this video? And I don't want to forget anything that I find important in this discussion to me personally. So yeah, for some people, it seems having children doesn't require any planning. You just kind of find your partner, you get married or you don't get married, and then the pregnancy happens, and oh, we have kids, and then just things happen. But to me, I had a very difficult childhood, partly because our household, the way, the atmosphere in the house was not very nice. I didn't feel well living in this household, but also because of the strabismus, I had a lot of learning difficulties and just generally difficulties developing as a visually and as a person, and keeping up with my peers and society. And then definitely when coming of age as an adult, all these kind of social and physical problems came together, and then turned out like I'm kind of a misfit in society, or I couldn't fit in well. So definitely I felt it was very difficult, even to the point that I had a lot of suicide or suicidal ideation and so forth. So definitely I always thought maybe I don't want to have children because I don't want to do this to them, even though of course not everyone has the same childhood. But you always hear about people who had a difficult childhood, or something happened to them, they kind of reproduce what happened to them because that's the only thing they know. So I'm very aware of this, and I'm very kind of scared of doing this. So I definitely don't want to do this, and I want to avoid that situation. So that's why, like, it was not a self-evident choice. And then there are also kind of practical factors that why I thought maybe I cannot have children, because as I said, I missed several milestones. Like, normally you go to school, you graduate, you maybe do university, you start working, you save money, you get a stable living situation, and then you find a partner and you have children. But in my case, I missed several of these milestones. So and I felt bad about this fact that I missed these milestones. So I felt if I didn't achieve these things, maybe I cannot have children, or I shouldn't have children. And the financial aspects, and so I felt I don't have a choice even to have children. Like, I shouldn't have children because I'm not prepared, like most people are prepared. And I was kind of sad about not having this choice. So maybe deep down, I always wanted maybe to have children, but life had gone in such a way, or has taken so many turns that I thought maybe better not. But then in 2018 or 2017, like 2017, I met my now wife. And first, we started dating. I thought we'll see how it goes, and maybe if she finds out what the deal is with me and the disability, maybe she'll just let me go. And because I knew from the beginning, she kind of mentioned offhandedly that she wanted children, but I thought, let's just date and see how it goes. But then at some point, after a year or something, the topic of moving in together came up. And it should also be mentioned that when we met, I was 28 and she was 33, I think. So it's not like if you want to have children, you have like a lot of time left. Like, you don't have an eternity to maybe kind of try or like think about it. So when the topic of moving in together came up, as I'm a very serious person, I kind of considered moving in together as basically as deciding whether or not to have children, because I cannot like let her move in or move in together, and then after a year when she's like 35 or something, or 36, like, oh, then in the end I don't want to have children, because I already noticed from talking to her she really wanted to have children. It's not like something that maybe she wanted. No, it's like she really was super, like at some point I said, yeah, but not everyone needs to have children. uh, and then but she said, no, yeah, not everyone has to have children, but I want children. And I asked like, why exactly do you want children? And she literally sat up and like super motivated, like, I think it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be an adventure. And like her eyes really lit up. So then I knew, yeah, it's either gonna be us together with children, or I have to let her go, and like be fair, not even move in together, and give her a chance to meet someone else and fulfill her dream. So then the next couple of months I really started thinking about it hard. I had yeah, really panic attacks. I woke up in the middle of the night, pounding hard, kind of really like, because it's like you're there's like a fork in the road, right? You can either have a family and live happily ever after, or maybe stay alone, and who knows what might happen. But yeah, obviously I wanted to stay together, but I also wanted to be a responsible person and not kind of doom us as a family before we even started. So the thing that also helped is that she always gave me time. So the next several months when she has to move in together, yeah, I said I need more time to think about it, and she didn't just get angry. She gave me more. I saw she was sad, but she gave me more time. And whenever I had like another panic attack with a new topic I was kind of worried about, be it financials or whatever, or making sure we can manage in the future, we always talked about it and kind of ironed out all the potential issues that I was thinking about. And then every time you kind of dismantle a problem, and then you kind of calm down, and then maybe there will be a new problem or a new issue, mental, like a thing that you foresee as being a problem in the future, and then you talk about it again. And at no point did she make me feel like she was angry, or she's like, yeah, you either decide now or it's over or whatever. And at some point I even asked, because of her age, and because I wanted to make sure, like, do you actually want me to marry me, or do you just want to get me to have the children? Because at this age I heard it. Well, I kind of know it's not uncommon that women kind of panic, and they view it as their last chance. So any guy that's in the vicinity, they will just grab him and have children with this guy. And then her reaction to this question was very nice. She was really confused, like, what are you talking about? Like, does that even exist? Like a woman who just grabs any guy and has children with him? Because she said, like, your children will look or will be like this other person, right, that you just grabbed. So I don't. She said, like, it doesn't make sense to just grab any person you don't even like, or. So yeah, that's definitely. So if there's any doubt in your mind, it's just better to ask these questions, so this doubt is erased forever, right? So if I didn't ask this question, I might have thought, this thought might have lingered for the rest of my life. Like, did she really want me, or did she just get me to have the children because her biological clock was ticking? So, but fortunately, she was baffled by the question, so definitely that was not the case. And yeah, also during this time when I was considering having children, so I was worried about financials. I was worried, can we maybe afford to buy a house later? Maybe how we're gonna do for them to study at some point. Like, since you're from Japan, like, maybe we cannot afford to fly the family over every year, or whatever it may be. So you need to talk about all these issues, and like, where do you want to live? Do you want to? I want to stay in Belgium. Is it okay for you to stay here long term? Because once we have children, we cannot fight about where to live. I don't want this to be like a lasting problem in the relationship, and something the kids will like suffer from. So yeah, all these things you need to talk about, you need to figure out beforehand, and we were able to do it. And then you feel like we have a stable basis to move in together and get married and have children. So that was very reassuring. And you also get to know like the character of your partner, right? Like, is she stable? Can she handle maybe figuring out difficult problems? They always say, like, if you want to see if you have a good partner, go to IKEA so you can discuss making interior design choices and choose like curtains or whatever. But I think those are like minor problems. Just it's better to discuss like money or having children or big life decisions. And then if you don't agree, you can try to make a compromise and see how it goes. And does the other person explode during this discussion, or do they stay calm, and do they give you time to ponder the question? And how do you fight? Because fighting is very important, right? In a relationship, everyone's going to fight, but it's about how you fight and how things are resolved and how you can move forward. And like, do they attack you personally, like you're like ad hominem? Do they do they burn you down to the ground, or do they just stay on topic and solve the issue instead of attacking you personally? So all these things you find out a lot about your partner. And in our case, once all these issues were solved, things went very fast. So between the time that we met and we had our first child was only like 2 years, so that, and including the pregnancy. So once you reach a certain age and you reach a certain certain level of maturity, and you solve all the potential issues, it can go very fast. You're just like, okay, we're good, we know what we want, we agree, let's do it. And so that's a really nice feeling, right? You don't leave any loose ends untied. You solve everything beforehand, as much as you can, of course. You cannot never foresee all the issues in life, but the base, you have a good foundation. And then so I also, another thing I did is I talked to lots of family members who have kids, or even people with strabismus who have kids, or just generally anyone who has kids, just absorbing their experience and their answers, and why it's so nice or why it was difficult, or do they regret it? And most people don't regret it. I never met anyone who regretted it, or at least told me they regretted it. And also I went to look online, what's like the pros and cons about having kids, which is way too rational to approach this topic, I suppose. But something that I remember during my research is like, you're gonna have to be, if you're a kind of introvert, you're gonna have to be way more social, because you're gonna meet parents, you're gonna meet teachers, you're gonna meet all kinds of people. You're gonna need to get more information about taking care of your kid, or activities they're gonna do, and you're gonna meet people all the time, be it at the playground, be it at the activities, be it at school. And to me, actually, that's one of the great experiences about having children. All the time you meet people who also have children, and you're kind of excited about about your children and about their future, and about them being happy together with the other kids, and about how just how they're doing. So you're talking about something other than yourself, instead of like always your work or your own abilities or your own goals. You're excited about these little people that you made, and to me that. So they said, you're gonna have to be more extroverted if you're introverted. And but I'm kind of like ambivert. I can be both, and to me this is one of the fun things about having children, that you kind of automatically integrate in the community because you cannot stay inside with kids. You always need to go out to do activities, because they need to move, right? They have lots of energy, so you might as well meet other parents and exchange information and learn, and it's fun. And so once you finally decide whether or not to have kids, if you don't want to have kids, it's fine too. So then once you make your choice and then love your choice, right? So once I decided, okay, we can move in together, we're gonna have kids, then just you have to let it go. And then I the panic attacks went away, and I had this warm feeling coming over me, like it's gonna be okay. And then yeah, and also you maybe ask your own parents or your extended family. It's good to have a network of support, right, in case anything goes wrong. So it's nice if they also are, and usually like your parents or the future grandparents are excited also to have grandchildren. So it's kind of like a fun thing, even if you had a difficult relationship with your parents before. This is something you can both be excited about in the future. And so yeah, in the end, for me, it was a great decision. I love being a parent. It's great to have this amount of impact and kind of steer their development, make sure they're okay, make sure they're learning. They're changing all the time. You can see yourself in their in their personality sometimes. Yeah, I loved having the responsibility. I think part of having a happy life is kind of carrying a burden, but a burden that doesn't crush you, but you can carry happily, like something that gives meaning to your life. And yeah, in a way, so it's sometimes hard because it's exhausting and you need to do many things, but also it simplifies your life. You don't really have to re-evaluate your life all the time. Like someone without children will all the time think, am I doing enough? Like, am I doing enough for my career? Should I get a new hobby, or what should I do with my spare time? Am I doing the best for me or optimizing my life, or am I happy? But with children, you don't really think about these things. You don't have time, right? You're working, you have the kids, and that's kind of it. And then you're just kind of if your kids are happy, you're kind of happy. You're not all the time thinking, am I happy? Like, should I be happy? Am I happy? What can I do to be more happy? No, you have your kids, so your life is already filled, and you're doing things to make your kid happy, make your kid healthy, make your kid more skilled, more grow properly, make them well behaved, discipline them. Also very important, right? So in a way it simplifies life. So I don't know if there's a moral to this story, but the moral to the story is maybe that in popular culture nowadays there's a lot of poo-pooing on having children. At least in the West, it's like, yeah, it's a big burden. They kind of emphasize how difficult it is. But I think it's better to emphasize the good things about having children, and all the things I kind of just mentioned, instead of always emphasizing, oh yeah, you're gonna have a difficult time, you're not gonna sleep the first year, all these kind of things, which, yeah, definitely some people suffer a lot during the first couple of years, definitely single parents and all these new kind of family situations. But that's exactly why I was so serious about planning it, or about working through any potential issues, so I didn't end up with a disaster, unplanned disaster during the first couple of years. I was surprised, like people who divorce during the first year after their kid is born, or like the first 2 years or something. It's like, yeah, you didn't think about this at all, right? Or you already knew the relationship was doomed, but you thought, let's have a baby, maybe it will improve the relationship. No. If you already have a bad relationship before you had the baby, then having a baby will definitely drive you apart even more. So you should be solid before you have the baby, and then your relationship can carry the burden or carry the strain, and you will not be pulled apart by this challenge. And as far as the number of children you could have, I think two is a good, like having one, it's really true that you're just gonna spoil the kid and you all the time need to talk to the kids because the kid needs feedback, right? But if you have two kids, yeah, they will start playing together, they will learn from each other, they have a playmate. But if you only have one kid, yeah, it's not necessarily more easy because you're gonna have to play with the kid and you're gonna have to talk to the kid all the time. So in a way, having two kids is maybe even easier than having one kid. And then yeah, whether you have more than two, that's up to the financial situation or yeah, your personal stamina. But people sometimes say that having the third kid is not that much different from having the second kid. But that, yeah, that's to be determined. I think that when it comes to having a third kid, I think the financial aspect is maybe the most difficult. But when they're little, you already have all the tools and all the toys and all the stuff. But it's maybe like later when they have to go to college, or definitely in Europe, it's still very affordable because lots of things are publicly funded. But yeah, in the United States, it's not that easy. Even here, daycare is very affordable in Europe. So many things in Europe, many things are, yeah, you get support for many things. Daycare is subsidized to a large extent. School is free, but I think the same in America. You get kind of child allowance every month. So yeah, when you're single, you're basically paying taxes to give other people child allowance. So that's why single people sometimes complain that they're taxed out of the wazoo to kind of help families. Because yeah, it's really true that having a family in many fiscal ways and yeah, financial ways, it's beneficial. The system was set up so to promote people having children in Belgium at least. So think about it well, maybe consider some of the things I said, and make sure you talk everything through with your partner so you have a solid foundation before you have kids. And it's up to you. Good luck. Thank you for watching and see you next time.